Good morning, everybody. I'm John's friend Brett, and I'm joined here with John's good friend Darryl Mayo. And today we're here to celebrate. We're actually celebrating the birth of John Meadows. It is John's birthday today, and so what better way to celebrate other than we're going to come to the gym, we're going to train legs, and bring you guys along for the ride.
You need to show them this too, just so they know what's going down.
It's leg day. So Darryl, how long have you known John?
So John's actually been in my life since the day I was born. So actually I've called him Uncle John about my whole life. He actually, funny story, so I got to go to the 2016 Arnold Classic and watch him compete, and I just remember walking out and I was talking to my dad. We were walking down the alley back to our truck, and I was like, Dad, this is what I want to do. And he's like, okay. He was just kind of like, whatever, man, if that's what you want to do. But John was always supportive of me and wanted to help me out, so he actually got to coach me for the Mr. Ohio back in 2020, and we won both classes. It was awesome, but yeah, man, he's been in my life since day one. So what about you? How did you start off?
I've known John for about 13 years now. For like the last 3 years or so, we trained together every day, and for like the, 9-10 years before that, we were training together, once a week, a couple times a month, and so I've definitely had my share of mountain dog workouts. And so for today's workout, I thought we would try to bring you guys some few things that I remember maybe from 7-8 years ago, where for various reasons, John just loved to train. And so he would kind of had favorite techniques. And so some things would kind of come and go. And so some of the things I maybe remember us doing 7-8 years ago, I'm going to try to incorporate in today's workout. So hopefully you guys can take away and maybe say, hey, I'm going to try this technique the next time I do legs. The only real way to do that is by leg curls. So thinking back of training with John, Lifetime Fitness back in the day, there was never a question of what exercise you were starting with. It was always a leg curl. So it really was, are we going to start with lying leg curls, seated leg curls, and what kind of crazy intensifier were you going to do? And so thinking back on that time, I'm thinking we're going to do seated leg curls. And what we have here is a hammer strength seated leg curl machine. It's plate loaded. If I remember correctly, John specifically had a hand in obtaining this, maybe ordering it. I believe it came from, I can't remember his name, but he's the owner of Madtown Fitness in Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you very much. I can't think of your name, but you sent this down for John to put in this gym, so we greatly appreciate that. And another cool story about this machine is this is the exact machine that Dave Tate has at Elite FTS. So you might look familiar where John used this same machine at Elite FTS. So we're gonna get started. First exercise of the day, seated leg curls. So for the technique of what we're doing sets of 8. And so we're gonna work up doing sets of 8 until we find a hard 8. And what we're doing a little different is we're doing dead stops. So after every rep, you're gonna come to a complete stop at the top of the range of the motion, and then you're gonna pull back down. So come to a complete stop up here, and then curl. Complete stop, curl. And so we're gonna do sets of 8 working up, and then we're gonna do a drop set. So we're gonna do 8, 8, 8, and then 20 partials on the top. So that'll be our final working set. But right now we're just warming up, doing sets of 8. Okay, so we've got up to our working weight, and so we're gonna do a drop set of 8, 8, 8, and those 3 drop sets, that's all dead stops. So you're gonna make sure you come to a complete stop at the top of that range of motion, and then curl it down. Up, complete stop. So you're gonna do 8, 8, 8, and then we're gonna do 20 partials. And those 20 partials, you're not gonna dead stop. You're just pumping little, slowly, but you're pumping little partials at the top of the range of the motion. So let's get going, Darryl, if you're ready. Complete stop, yeah. 6. Stop. Good. Complete stop. So after the last drop, this is a little light. So for the partials, we're gonna just add back a little more weight for them. So 20 partials at the top. Just little ones, a little bit. Slow at the top range of motion. 3. Slow, slow. Slow. So for this, since we did leg curls and we haven't done any leg extensions, so our knees aren't like completely warmed up. So going on to the hip press or the leg press, we want to make sure we take our time and make sure our knees and everything are warmed up. So we're going to slowly do 1 plate aside, 2 plate aside, 3 plate aside, and like for all of those, probably like 10 or 15 reps.
Right.
But then once it should start to get heavy at like, I don't know, 4 or 5 plates.
Yeah.
And so then we're going to back down on the reps because we really want to, you want to save your energy because I've got a challenge for us that we really want to,
Okay.
you want to be 100%. So you don't want to waste your energy doing 10 reps right before we do that.
Okay.
So you want to save it all. So
All right.
let's just keep slowly warming up. Just do as many reps as you need to feel like your knees are warm up and you're capable of unleashing some fury. So.
Okay. Come on.
So for these, we're doing these specifically for quads. So I want your feet a little closer together than normal and low. And so on this hip press, about as low as you can safely go is where there's maybe an inch or so underneath his feet. And when he presses, he's still gonna feel his full foot on the platform. But it kind of looks like it's hanging off the edge, but it shouldn't feel that way. And so this should be all quad. Okay, so we're doing this on the Rogers hip press machine, which this was John's favorite machine. It was like, it's basically very similar to a leg press machine. And I know most of you people, you're not gonna have a hip press machine at your gym, but if you have a leg press machine, you can do the exact same thing we're doing here on the leg press. So what we're doing is we've warmed up, as I talked about with Darryl earlier, we warmed up, we did a bunch of reps. The last set of our warm up, I think I did 4 or 5 reps because we're trying to save all the energy for this little challenge that we got here. So what I'm picturing is I can remember Lifetime Fitness, John and I on the leg press machine going back and forth. And I remember like the first time he told me we were gonna do this, and I thought he was freaking crazy because what we're gonna do is we found a weight that we think will be a hard 8 reps, give or take. And so this works best if you have one training partner. So I'll go, I'm gonna do 8 reps. Then Darryl's gonna go, he's gonna do 8 reps. Then we're gonna do a drop. So we're gonna pull a plate each side, and then I have to do more reps than the last time. So
Every single time,
every
right?
time, yeah. So,
Okay.
so the first time you're gonna do 8, you're gonna drop, and then you'll probably get like 10 or 11, kind of depends. Then we're gonna drop again, and then you gotta get more reps than 10 or 11. So then you'll probably get like 13, 14. Then you're gonna drop again, and then maybe you'll get like 20 or something. And then you're gonna drop again, and then hopefully you're gonna get 25, 30. So at some point, you're gonna drop enough that you've gotten like more than 30 reps on a drop set. And so once you do a set where you've completed more than 30 reps, then you're basically done because you're just gonna be exhausted. There's just no way you're gonna be able to do 30 reps and then drop and then do what? 50, 60, 70? Like you're just not gonna be capable of that much. So what I think might be fun, because this was gonna be a long drop set, because we're just going back and forth, dropping the weight, not stopping. So I think we're gonna try and set a timer too, so you guys can see how long it takes just Darryl and I to do this. Because to be honest, I'm not quite sure. 5, 10 minutes. So we'll see.
Go. Come on. Yeah, hold it like that the whole time.
21-inch arms, man. It's from the camera. It's not from working out. That's cold too.
Man. So basically, we're competing right now to see who gets a bigger number. I got it.
Yeah, wait till I go.
press. You pull that one.
Yeah, I got you. Come on. Come on.
That it?
Yeah.
Okay, so to recap that hip press, leg press challenge, Darryl destroyed me because I think I got 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, and maybe 25. You did what?
I
remember?
did 10, 15, 20, 26, 30, and 40.
Yeah. And so, like, once you do a set, like, he did like 40, like, if you were to drop it and try to do another set, you're going to get, what are you going to get, like 55, 60 or something? Like, it's almost, and you're going to be so vascularly taxed, however that word is.
Yeah. You start to
from
get out
that,
of breath
that you're just
beforehand.
going to run out of breath. So,
And one thing we're not going to tell you too is our cameraman destroyed us, but we won't talk about that.
but something, but to keep in mind, a few things to keep in mind when you do that, your body is going to want to make it as easy as possible. So if you make a huge jump from like 10, 15, 25 to 30 or 25 to 30, something like that, you make this big old jump, make sure your rep tempo is still the same. You're slowing it down because your body's going to want to maybe shorten that range of motion. You're going to want to do it a little faster. Make sure you try to keep that same technique in there so that you can kind of auto-regulate. Your body's going to want to make it easier. So speaking of the hack squat, there's nothing more John Meadows-esque than a reverse banded hack squat. So we've got 2 bands hooked up here. That's kind of going to take out a little bit of that tension at the bottom of the range of motion, and it's going to get harder as we go through the range of motion. So a little easier at the bottom, and it'll get a little harder at the top. So moving on from the hip press, leg press, make sure you take your time because you're going to be gassed from that challenge set. So we're just easing into it. We're going to just do 1 plate right now just to kind of get the feel of that, and then probably 2, 3, 4. Like we'll probably start making some jumps, but you don't want to all of a sudden just jump right to the hack squat, load up 4 or 5 plates and do your working set, because you got to recover from that challenge that we just did. So be sure that you kind of re-energize, take your time to get ready, because we've got another little challenge ahead of ourselves. The goal here is we're going to try to find a set that's a hard 6 reps. So we just did, a bazillion reps on that hip press, leg press. So now we're going to come over to the hack squat, and the goal is 1 hard set of 6, so we can get that benefit of that lower rep range set. So we were on, I think this is our 3rd set here, working up, and I think this is going to be my working set of 6 reps. So we'll kind of see, and if it feels light, there's nothing wrong with that. Then you just add a little more weight and make the next set your working set. So just one thing to keep in mind: after that challenge set over there, you probably won't be able to do as much weight as you're probably accustomed to. Like in my head, I thought we were going to do 4 or 5 4 or 5 plates per side, and it looks like 3, maybe a little more than 3. So don't be discouraged if your muscles are a little more fatigued, I think is the proper way of saying it, than you're used to. But either way, as long as you're putting in the effort, that's all that really matters. So one quick thing I want to point out that John preached to me and definitely helped me is make sure the platform, you want a platform that, 1, is adjustable. And so we also want to make sure with the adjustment, put it about as high as it goes, because then instead of the platform being like this, right, you're like this, and it's going to be easier on your knees. So if you think if this was flatter, your knees are going to track more forward, and as you get into doing this, 10 years, 15 years, or whatever, all those reps, those are hard on your knees, and those will add up. And so one thing that was a major takeaway I took from John is he never had any knee problems, and he always focused on making sure the platform was up.
Come on. Drive. How many did you get right there?
I think that was a hard 7, so that's going to be the working set. Okay, so my takeaway from watching that is I'm just having flashbacks of training with John, because his form just reminds me of John, where it was like, whether it was hack squat or squatting, just like just like a piston. And it was just, to me, it's picture perfect. It's explosive. It just reminds me of John.
First curse word in 4 years is by this guy on leg day.
Still
Come on.
So you're gonna try to do 2 more reps than the last time we felt that. So like 8 to 10. Then I'm gonna pull 145, and then you're gonna try to get 10 reps of the 1.5 reps. Now this was something John used to love and do back in the day. So you're gonna go down, up, like halfway, down, and then all the way up. And that's 1.5 rep. So you're gonna try to get 8, drop, 10, 1.5s, and then after those 1.5s, you're gonna come down in order to try to do a 10-second iso hold on the bottom, further stretch your quads.
You know what I think would make it a lot easier? If I just started it and then he didn't tell me anything ahead of time, just told me what to do.
Well, maybe after that 10-second thing, I'll sneak a little John Meadows.
Hey, that's fine, that's
there,
fine. All right, let's do it. Ready?
Are you ready, buddy? Let's go. Come on. Good. 7. Come on. 8. Come on. 2 more. Good. Try 1.5. Deep. Hold a little down. Yeah. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. Good. Come on. Give me 1 more. I'll lighten the load. Come on. That's 5. All right. A little lighter on you. Come on now. 6. Come on. 7. Come on. 8. Come on, just 2 more little ones. Good. 1 more rep. 1 more. Now let's get down in there. Now hold that. Hold that deep stretch. Come on. 8, 7, 6. Come on. 5, 4. Come on. 3, 2. Come on. Up. All the way. All the way. Okay. Now come down. Come down just a little. Come down just a little. Yep. Right there. Now hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up. Come on. Okay. Breathe. All right. Go down a little. Yep. Now hold it. Come on. Fight it. Good. One more. Come on. You got it. I got it. Come on. Just down just a little. Keep down 6 inches. Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Attaboy. That's good stuff right there.
How you feel, man?
I feel great.
Speechless.
Okay, so we finished up on the hack squat, and now we're gonna move on and we're gonna circle back to the hamstring. So we started with the hamstring, the seated leg curl, and we pumped them out. Now we're gonna finish up today's workout with some RDLs, but the little twist is, years ago, John would do a lot of exercises against bands. And so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a Romanian deadlift, but we're gonna do it against some bands. So I'll show you in a second here how we set that up and how that looks. But we're gonna do 3 sets, just 3 straight sets of 8 reps, banded Romanian deadlifts to squeeze and flex and focus on the glute hamstrings. All right, so here's how we're gonna set this up. I've got a long red, I forgot what they call it, but it's a long red band from Elite FTS. So you're just gonna evenly lay it out just in front of the barbell here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna stand on it right in the middle. So just stand over it. And then you're gonna put your hands in here. So just loop your hands in. And now we're gonna be able to do these RDLs against the band. So this is what it's gonna look like.